Story 1. Caught my wife with two men, destroyed them all and got my revenge. Hi everyone, I'm 33. Before I get into my story, I'll ask you this. What would you do if you walked in on your wife, the woman you trusted completely, with two men in your marital bed? I met my wife Tracy, 29, at the movies. I had gone to a movie premiere with some friends, and she was there with her girlfriends. There was instant chemistry, and soon after, we started dating. We were together for a year before we got married. What started as a simple friendship became the love story of my life, or so I thought. In the beginning, it felt like marrying Tracy was a blessing. We were happy. I did everything I could as a man and husband to support her dreams and encourage her to be the best version of herself. The first 2 years of our marriage were strong. Tracy was kind, caring, smart, everything I had dreamed of in a woman. She was a great cook, had a wonderful personality, a refined presence. But the thing I valued most about her was her honesty. Tracy worked at a diner. I was a graphic designer at a company that handled printing banners, billboards, graphic design, and the like. We both made decent money, though I covered most of our household expenses so Tracy could put her earnings toward her dream. Before we married, she told me she had always dreamed of being an actress but never had the chance. Her parents didn't support that dream, they pushed her to choose a real career in college. When Tracy asked if I would support her chasing her acting dream, I told her yes. I hadn't become who I wanted to be either, and I knew what it felt like to have a passion but no opportunity to pursue it. So I supported her joining drama groups, taking volunteer roles, and participating in projects that might get her closer to her goal. We planned that once we saved enough money, she'd go to acting school. Tracy was truly talented. Yes, she could be dramatic at times, but she was very good at acting. Before we met, she had taken a few courses and watched countless YouTube videos on acting techniques. She was serious about it, and I didn't want to be the person who crushed her dream. We also decided to delay having children until she finished school. We figured she'd land good roles in plays or even films by then. Honestly, I was the one pushing her the most to take on projects and show her talent to the world. I wanted her to succeed. When she asked if I was okay with her pursuing acting, we were still in the first year of marriage. Things were perfect, we had never fought, not even once. She treated me with love and respect. During that first year, Tracy kept applying for volunteer acting roles online but kept getting rejected. At one point, she got discouraged and focused on her new job. But I kept encouraging her not to give up. Then, a few months after our first anniversary, she got a reply from one of her applications. She was invited to audition for a stage production. Tracy was over the moon, and I was thrilled for her. An added bonus, the audition was in our city, and she had plenty of time to prepare. She nailed the audition and landed a role. She was glowing when she told me. Another plus, they were paying the actors, and rehearsals were mostly on weekends. I didn't expect how much she would change once rehearsals started. At first, things seemed the same. We talked normally, lived our usual life. The only difference, we spent less time together on weekends because of rehearsals. She'd get up, clean, cook, go to rehearsal, and come home late. I wasn't thrilled about it, but I didn't say anything. I didn't want to ruin her first real opportunity. Besides, they paid her more on weekends than she earned in a whole week at the diner. But over time, distance grew between us. To keep myself occupied on weekends, I played video games, hung out with friends, or invited them over. These were lifelong friends I trusted. When I told them about Tracy's acting commitments, one of my friends, Eric, warned me to be careful. There were rumors that some actresses slept with directors to land roles. I dismissed it, assuring them that Tracy wasn't like that. She was talented. She didn't need to sleep with anyone for a role. In hindsight, I was a fool. They stopped bringing it up but reminded me to keep an eye out, since beginner actors and actresses were known for being vulnerable to temptation. I didn't take it seriously. I was 100% sure Tracy would never do anything to hurt me. Still, their warning stuck with me, and I started asking Tracy subtle questions. She noticed the change and complained about it. I had to apologize and told her what my friend had said. She laughed and told me I was the best husband in the world. Only a stupid and ungrateful woman would cheat on me. That calmed me. If only I had known she was already cheating at that point. Over the next week, Tracy changed drastically. Our conversations became strained. The excitement she used to have after rehearsals vanished. She had always shared every detail with me. I knew the names and personalities of everyone in her theater group, even though I'd never been there. I used to look forward to her stories. But suddenly, they stopped. On top of that, she became very defensive. Jokes that used to make her laugh now offended her. Then she updated her wardrobe with revealing outfits, ones she only wore to rehearsals. I voiced my discomfort, but she brushed it off, saying I didn't understand fashion. At the time, I thought she was just trying to keep up with the other actresses. Suspicion crept in when she started changing her hairstyle every week and spent hours on the phone with some guy she called her acting partner. One day, she did something that really upset me. When I confronted her, she yelled and stormed out, a first for her. That evening, I told my friends what had happened. They said she was definitely cheating. Even then, I didn't want to believe it. I had done so much for her. I argued that maybe she was just stressed. But they insisted I was blinded by love and needed a private investigator. I didn't like the idea of someone spying on her, but given how she changed, I agreed. I found a PI online and hired him for a week. On the third day, Tracy didn't come home after rehearsal. The next day, she claimed she had been at a club celebrating an actress's birthday and stayed at a hotel for safety. The weird thing, she never told me about the party. I had called her until 3 a.m. When she finally answered, she said she hadn't heard her phone over the music, then lied, saying she had mentioned the party but I must not have been listening. I suspected a lie but knew the PI would have proof soon. When he finally contacted me, I was visiting my parents. He said he had something to show me. Instead of going home, I went straight to him. Meanwhile, Tracy thought I was staying with my parents until Monday. But I was coming back on Saturday. The PI showed me photos and videos, Tracy with a blonde guy, kissing in the car, shopping, dining. And the night she claimed to be at the birthday party? She was with this guy all night. They went to the club, then to his house, where she spent the night. She had seen my calls and deliberately ignored them. I was devastated. But the worst was yet to come. The PI said he had followed her that night too. She was currently at our house with the same guy. I was furious. Too angry to drive, so the PI drove me. When we arrived, I saw a blue Toyota, the same one from the photos. I knew Tracy was inside with him. The PI offered to come in with me. I don't remember if I agreed. Next thing I knew, I was in our bedroom and there was Tracy, with two men, mid-act. I lost it. She was wearing see-through lingerie, handcuffed to the bed. When they saw me, one guy ran, the other was stuck. I attacked him. The PI stopped me before I killed him. Tracy, still cuffed, started begging me, saying I misunderstood, they were just rehearsing a scene. That pathetic excuse enraged me even more. I left the room and told her she'd better be gone when I returned. The PI had recorded everything and gave me the footage. I spent the night at a friend's place. I felt ashamed, my friend had been right about the acting scene. And the worst part, Tracy had done this in our own bed. The next morning, I returned home. Tracy was still there, skipped rehearsal, clearly knew she had screwed up. When I saw her, rage consumed me. I threw her out and dumped her stuff on the lawn. She begged, said I was making a mistake, pleaded for a chance to explain. For nearly an hour, she stood outside, yelling my name, begging to be let in. When that failed, she switched to insults and finally left. That was last week. It's taken me this long to even write about it. I can't believe this happened right under my nose. I wasn't a controlling husband. We shared bills, I respected her space. Looking back, I should have investigated sooner when the communication stopped and the wardrobe changed. But is that what marriage is about, assuming the worst the moment your spouse buys new clothes? She still won't stop calling me. I'm considering sending the video to her director. Update 1. Thanks for your comments. Many of you asked about the second guy. Turns out, he's now dating Tracy's director. The director is gay. Imagine how furious he'll be when he learns Tracy seduced his boyfriend. Tracy showed up at my house 3 days ago looking terrible. Unfortunately for her, I had friends over. She got angry seeing me ignoring her. Mike, are you really going to let your friends treat your wife this way over a silly fight? I stayed inside, listening. Then she brought up our dreams, our promises, that I'd grow old with her. I nearly lost it. My friend stopped me. Before leaving, she even asked about the acting school I'd promised to pay for. I wanted to tell her to go ask her lover for help. But I said nothing. I've already contacted a divorce lawyer. Papers will be sent soon. As for revenge, as you advised, I'll send the video to the director. Update 2. I'm writing this with satisfaction. Things went even worse for Tracy than I'd hoped. It took 2 weeks to find her director. I did it. He's a rising filmmaker, very promising. We met. I showed him the footage, his boyfriend and Tracy together. He broke down crying. He had suspected cheating but had no proof. His boyfriend had cheated before and begged for forgiveness. I didn't care about that, I cared about what he'd do to Tracy. He promised not to let it slide. Both Tracy and the blonde guy were fired. I don't know if he dumped the guy, but Tracy definitely lost everything. When she got the divorce papers, she called me, begging me not to destroy what we'd built. I told her she had destroyed it herself the moment she cheated. I told her I was the one who showed the video to her director. She exploded, called me jealous and bitter. I laughed and hung up. 2 weeks ago, she signed the papers. I'm officially divorced. It hurts, but I'm glad she's out of my life. Story 2. I found out my wife was cheating. I don't know what to do now. Here's some background. My wife, 34, and I, 36, have been together nearly 17 years. We have 3 kids and an old house we've been slowly renovating for the past 2 years. Financially, we're struggling, no savings and lots of debt. She's the only woman I've ever been with. Before me, she'd only had a couple of relationships. When we met, we were both inexperienced. She was the light of my life. We went through many hard times but always supported each other. I thought we were one of those rare couples that would make it no matter what. Turns out I was wrong. Life got in the way, house repairs, full-time jobs, endless financial stress, and raising kids. We lost ourselves. Our money troubles and health problems made things worse. My wife had been trying to lose weight for a while but couldn't, and her self-esteem tanked. We were both depressed, but instead of leaning on each other, we shut down. I buried myself in computer games. She buried herself in her phone. Things got worse this past spring and summer. She started going out more with friends, hitting parties. I stayed home with the kids. I thought letting her blow off steam would help her come home happier, but it didn't. A bad gut feeling kept growing. Then I heard a rumor someone saw her kissing a guy at a dance event in a nearby town. I asked her about it directly. She denied it, said the guy made a move, and she pushed him away. I didn't fully believe her but didn't want to push. I tried to show her I trusted her. But then she got super secretive with her phone. In August 2022, I accidentally saw her Facebook password and decided to look. I wanted to see if I could find anything about that dance night. What I found was way worse. Yes, she had kissed a guy while drunk. Her friend had to pull her away. But that was nothing compared to what came next. I checked her messenger. She'd been talking to 2 foreign guys online for months, let's call them A and V. It started on Instagram. A random guy, A, messaged her compliments, and they started chatting on Skype. Just a couple weeks into it, she began sending him nudes, though she hesitated at first. The kissing incident happened during this period. She kept messaging A until mid-August, when he revealed his true intentions. He was a scammer using a stolen profile. Even after that, she had already sent him her most intimate photos. She seemed infatuated with him. Around the same time, she started chatting with another guy, V, and that conversation also led to nudes and sexual messages. In both cases, they fantasized about coming to our country to meet her in a hotel. She never spoke badly about me, just said I was there. When they asked, she'd say I treated her well but quickly added how great it felt to talk to them, how they made her feel special. But the worst part. In messages with one of her friends, I found something even more disturbing. In early July, she went to a 2-day festival in a nearby town with her friend, staying at a rental apartment. I had no problem with that. I knew her friend sometimes had panic attacks and had ended up in the hospital that night. What I didn't know, and found out from their chat, was that my wife met a 41-year-old local guy, let's call him G. He was married with kids, in an unhappy relationship. They talked. He tried to sleep with her, but according to her messages to her friend, she stopped him. She didn't mention me. It's a small town. I figured out who he was pretty quickly. I found messages on her phone to a number that likely belonged to him. And I have a very bad feeling about it. I didn't tell my wife I knew. I was scared of what might happen in front of the kids. I kept up the act and waited until Saturday, August 24th, when I could talk to her. I had my mom watch the kids. When my wife came home from class, I calmly asked her to sit down and told her I knew everything. No shouting, no insults, no violence. Just 2 broken people, one of us devastated. We talked all night. She swore nothing happened with G, that everything online was just about boosting her self-esteem. She thought I didn't love her anymore because she couldn't lose weight. When those guys gave her compliments, she got hooked. She admitted she never wanted to hurt me. She was selfish, craving attention. That's why she sent them nudes. She said she now understood it was cheating but didn't see it that way at the time. I wanted to believe her, I really did. We decided to try to fix things and started couples therapy. Weeks passed, and things seemed to improve. She was more affectionate. Our intimacy got better. We spent more time together. But deep down, something still felt off. After our second therapy session last week, she finally confessed what I had feared, what I had suspected all along. Yes, she had slept with G that night in July. She said she felt guilty and ashamed afterward but kept messaging him. She also admitted she met up with him twice after that, though she claims it only involved kissing. She even tried contacting him again days after our first big talk in August. My first reaction, shock. I didn't yell, didn't touch her. Part of me was relieved to finally hear the truth. But deeper inside, I was crushed. I didn't want to make rash decisions, so I didn't throw my ring at her or confront the guy. I don't want to be the man who exposes him to his wife or ends up arrested for assault. After all, he didn't break my vows, she did. I don't know what to believe anymore. The woman I thought I knew would never have done this. She says she was selfish, ashamed, and wants to do whatever it takes to win back my trust. But honestly, I don't know if I ever can trust her again or see her the same way. Yes, I still love her. I still enjoy being around her, seeing her smile. But every time I look at her, something twists inside me. I want to make it work for the kids, and because of our financial mess, we can't afford a divorce. But I'm afraid that staying will just destroy my self-respect. How the hell do you forgive your wife for cheating with not one, not two, but 3 men? And if you count that drunken kiss, 4. She cheated on me emotionally and physically, and it wasn't some random drunk mistake. Even if 2 of those relationships were online, she was actively planning to meet up with them for sex. Has anyone else been through something like this? Any advice? I know it's easy to say just divorce her, but it's not that simple. I still have feelings for her. I worry about the kids, our families. I also fear that if I divorce her and the truth gets out, she might harm herself. We still have an unfinished house and no savings. At least we should finish the renovations to sell the house and get some money. Update. After reading your comments and talking with close friends, I finally found the courage to face reality. Deep down, I knew I couldn't get past what she'd done. Last Thursday, I told her I wanted a divorce. She seemed to expect it. She wasn't shocked or angry. She just cried and said, "No matter what I say, it won't change anything." She didn't even try to argue. Since then, we've started telling close friends and family. But she refuses to tell her parents the truth. My mom knows everything. For some reason, I agreed not to tell her parents yet. Maybe I'm afraid it'll turn into an all-out war between us. I gave her time to tell them herself. Last Sunday, we met with her parents and told them we were divorcing. Since we had to leave the kids with them for a few days during school break, it didn't seem like the right time to dump the full truth on them. We told them we had irreconcilable differences. It was incredibly hard. They looked so disappointed. They've been part of my life for almost 17 years. I respect them. They've always supported us financially and with the kids. I hated lying to them, but I feared if I told the truth, the divorce would get even uglier. But my patience isn't infinite. If she doesn't tell them soon, I will. I also don't want the real reason to become public knowledge. We live in a small town. Eventually the truth would get back to our kids, and they could be bullied. I'd rather the official story be, we just grew apart. I also don't want to be known as that poor guy whose wife cheated on him. There are still a lot of unanswered questions. We need to sell the house and find apartments. Custody will be joint, 1 week with me, 1 week with her. I have no idea how it will end, but in our country, the courts usually side with the mother. But I will fight for my kids. Thanks for watching.